Yeah, obviously Detroit Lions are the top 3 team in the NFC for sure. Some are saying top 5 in the NFL.
I would say both.
We'll find out when we do our power rankings later.
I would say yes. I think they are a top 3 team in the NFC.
But can they win the NFC?
I don't think they can win the NFC.
Wow.
I don't think they can beat the 49ers. And that's just I'm going to just keep it G real with you, because
this guy's a hater.
The 49ers are the best team in the NFL. They are a complete unit. They have depth at every position on both sides of the ball. It's impressive to watch. They have one of, if not the best play caller as their head coach. Brock Purdy's playing lights out. We know about the defense is littered with all pros. Their offense is littered with all pros. They got the best running back in football, a fantastic receiving core, and a great tight end in George Kittle, not to mention a top 3 offensive line in football. So it's tough for me to say that they can go out there and beat the Niners. Can anything happen? Yeah, anything can happen. Now, Philadelphia, on the other hand, I think the Lions can beat Philadelphia. I think the Lions will be able to beat the Eagles. It'd be a close game. Obviously, they gave them a run for their money in the first game last year, but this is 2 new teams from where that was. I don't think the Eagles are as good as they were last year. I think they've kind of skated by. Yes, they are undefeated, but they haven't looked great in some of their games. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown seem to be coming back to what they were, kind of connecting again. But I don't think the Eagles are the juggernaut that they were as they were last year. So I think the Lions will be able to knock off the Eagles. But the 49ers are a different story, man. They're so good, so loaded, so disciplined, very well coached. It's tough for me to say that the Lions would be, like you said, any given Sunday, anything is possible. But if you're having me bet on it, I would not bet on the Lions to beat the 49ers.
What a hater. You're just a big Jared Goff hater.
Yeah? Do you think they can beat the Niners?
Yeah.
You putting your mortgage on it?
I can't put my mortgage on it. But I actually do. I do have it the opposite. I actually think, because I was thinking about, obviously, we have them as a top 3 team in the NFC. I'm like, well, you're in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, if you're winning the NFC, you're going to the Super Bowl. And I'm not going to use the word Super Bowl because the Lions part of my brain, like the PTSD version, just wants to swat that word away when it comes to Detroit Lions anytime it comes up. So I'll keep that word away. But winning the NFC or being the best team in the NFC, I think it's a possibility. I really do. When I look at the San Francisco 49ers, and I drove the comparisons yesterday between the 49ers and the Detroit Lions, I think that's what makes the Detroit Lions competitive against them. And more importantly, too, if they do address, and I don't know if Brad will, I don't know if Brad's there with the team yet, but if he sees them as a contender this year, as a true contender, then I think if you grab a Chase Young, it's even more possible. When I see the times the 49ers were beat, and Brock Purdy's only lost one time, and it's when he got hurt in the NFC Championship game last year. It was due to the Eagles' elite pass rush. Yeah. And the Detroit Lions, I don't know if it's elite to a tier where like it's going to perform against a top offensive line like the San Francisco 49ers, but I guarantee to you, Spinny, if you had a Chase Young, you are.
Yeah,
and
definitely
helps.
helps.
You're giving yourself that opportunity. Obviously, Detroit Lions perform really, really well against the run. They've only allowed 342 yards. That hasn't been done since, I think, the 30s or the 40s or something. I think it's, 42.
32.
So, and I know I get it's Christian McCaffrey. I'm sorry. If we're filling the gaps and they're all flying there, they're gang banging the tackle.
Hey, yo.
I'm not that nervous about. I'm a little bit more nervous about Christian McCaffrey when it comes to like the pass game. Obviously, he does things out of there too, but I think they could contain him in the run game. And then Brock Purdy too. I mean, like he's nice, but again, if you're getting that pressure on him, it becomes a winnable game. And I think they're bringing the same thing offensively, where like if we're throwing the ball constantly, then that defense is going to be all over you. We run the ball consistently. We have another good offensive line. I think that game's more winnable than the Eagles. I'm actually opposite for you. I'm
really?
more concerned with the Eagles just because when I look at the 49ers, everything's kind of predicated based off that run. That's the strength of Detroit Lions defense. The weakness of Detroit Lions defense, or why I get nervous for the Detroit Lions defense, is the back half and that secondary. And not that the 49ers don't have wide receivers that could kill us, because they do.
They do.
But what the Eagles have are like the guys can kill you like man on man, just like to murder you. A.J. Brown is a fucking dog.
Yeah.
And I would love if Cam Sutton, no one's shutting him down. I love Cam Sutton. You guys know I've been praising him all year. But that's how it goes with elite wide receivers. And when we see ourselves, I don't want to compare anyone to Calvin Johnson, but we know. I mean, Justin Jefferson broke a record against us. No one stops elite wide receivers. You can still win the game.
Yeah.
But that's just one where I am kind of nervous. Another thing, too, that they have, and Purdy is a little bit mobile, but Jalen Hurts is like elite at the mobility situation. So
yeah. I mean, Brock Purdy still has yet to lose a game that he started in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more nervous about the Eagles, and on top of that too, I know we have an elite offensive line, but like man v man, like 4 versus 4, the Eagles have enough to make it like competitive. That they want to throw an extra blitzer in there or whatever. Like it gets a little bit more, I guess, nervous for me. The NFL is about matchups. You know what I'm saying? I understand completely that the 49ers are a better team. I think the Detroit Lions match up better against them than they do the Philadelphia Eagles.
I can see where you're coming from, but it's not like that 49ers offense can't throw the ball. Like AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are very good, but so are Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
On top of that, you have George Kittle, who is one of the best tight ends in the NFL, and Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield is just as deadly as he is running the ball. And it's not like their defensive line is any pushovers. They got arguably the best player in football in Nick Bosa. They've got Jason Hargrave. They've got Eric Armstead. They've got Colin Farrell. They've got Javon Kinlaw. Like, they just signed Randy Gregory. They have some dogs on that side of the ball too. So I just think the 49ers are too good at every position. And I know people are saying maybe you catch Brock Purdy on a bad day. Well, he hasn't had one yet. Nobody's caught him on a bad day yet. He is undefeated in his NFL career so far. So
he's had a couple. I mean, the defense bailed him out.
He won. He wins the games. He hasn't lost any game he started in the NFL so far. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know, man. The 49ers, I think they're the best team in football. And I think they showed that beating the Dallas Cowboys worse than we beat the Panthers. Like, they exposed the Cowboys.
Can I say something about the Cowboys? And shout out to my fantasy team or fantasy league, because I was telling them this before the game even started, because they're kind of thinking, a lot of guys in the chat were thinking about the Cowboys, but it's like when you look at, again, matchups. That's why I haven't worn the hot dog suit. But look at the Cowboys offensively. They really haven't given you nothing all year, and defensively, they're great against the pass. They haven't shown that against the run consistently, and they also just lost Diggs for like the rest of the season.
Trayvon Diggs, yeah.
So they're super susceptible to like losing against a team built like the 49ers, which they're predicated off the run. So they had the perfect like matchup against them to destroy the Cowboys the way they did.
I would say the Eagles are predicated off the run too. Like, it's not. Yeah, they have great wide receivers, but they want to run the ball. That's what they do with Jalen Hurts, with that backfield, the guys they have. They want to run the ball, use that offensive line to run the ball.
Yeah, not in the same way the 49ers, though. 49ers bring you out there. They'll throw out like 3 tight ends, 2 tight ends. The Eagles, you're more looking – I mean, they like to use those wide receivers. They're paying A.J. Brown handsomely. They give him the ball. And it's not that the Eagles don't run the ball, but a little bit more balance. Like a matchup-wise, I think the Lions could like keep it close enough to where whoever like makes the big play or makes the first mistake is capitalizing and winning the game. Versus the Eagles, where like I feel like we're put in those passing situations. It's not going to go our favor unless we go and get a Chase Young.
Yeah. Well, whoever the Lions play after the game, you can tune into Woodward Sports for the Woodward Sports post-game show hosted by Stick and Maz. Make sure you guys check it out every week directly after all Lions games. You might see Easy, you might see myself, you might see Lucas. You never know. But it is the Woodward Sports Lions post-game show. Make sure you check it out only on Woodward Sports.
I was reading the comment in Woodward Sports Chat, so I kind of got sidetracked there. But yeah, I think Detroit Lions, it's going to be matchup based if they do or can do it, and I do think they need to add that extra lineman. And I wouldn't be mad if it's a defensive tackle, but our boy Aleem, I don't know if you caught it on Lions PFF last week, and again, this is PFF, so take it with a grain of salt. But he ranked as the number 1 defensive tackle. That is crazy.
He played a great game, man.
Because I remember in Seattle, he was ranked like the 100th defensive tackle. Yeah. But again, matchups, and I mean, that's a perfect example too, right? The Lions just can't seem to get over the hump when it comes to the Seattle Seahawks. And the Seattle Seahawks like to run the ball with Kenneth Walker. But when they get to passing those wide receivers, it's not a good matchup for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I understand that you could lean and you could say the Eagles' receiving core is better, but it's not like the 49ers have slouches out there.
Yeah, they're not
slouches.
They
have 2 dynamic wide receivers and George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey catching the ball out of the backfield. Like, it's not like they're just a bunch of bums that you don't have to worry about.
No, I never said that at all. Not at all. When I look at the 49ers as a whole, it's kind of like the Detroit Lions, where a lot of it's like schematically. And you do have like your individual like skill players are just great. Like, I would put, obviously, Christian McCaffrey in that category, and I don't think the Lions sniff that anywhere near that, but I feel like it's more like schematics, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like, you're not overly impressed by like, when A.J. Brown makes a catch, and sometimes you're like, God damn, like that guy's a beast.
Deebo Samuel can do the same thing.
And he's great after the catch, but he's not like Deebo and guys like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it's, Deebo Samuel too, if you look at his stats, like, I know his First year was he had like 2 good years. It's like this year and then 2 years ago from there. Ayuk, he's there and he's not. There's some inconsistencies
he's been
there.
balling this year.
Versus, and then he's there, he's not too. Like, part of it could be like the way they run their offense. There's so many weapons on there. And I forgot about Kittle as well. Again, I'm not saying that we for sure beat them, but I just feel I like the Lions' odds against the Niners, as crazy as that sounds, than I do the Philadelphia Eagles. And again, going back to the Seattle game, when you see a quarterback, if they're passing against us, they're gonna get off at certain points.
It's fair. It's fair.